Hey, everybody, welcome to the Insufferable Bastards podcast. Hello, Shuli.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
The only time anybody watches this podcast is when we talk about Stuttering John.
Hi, this is Stuttering John Melendez from The Howard Stern Show.
It's all Long Island to me.
The second she saw the face, she said, "Oh, yeah, that was him."
Oh, you're the guy that played fake clips of me. Yes, I remember now.
It's a stupid name, but maybe it's worth listening to. How the fuck do I know? I got my own problems. I got hemorrhoids and shit. When I wipe my ass, it looks like a chocolate-covered cherry. All right, good.
Got Ray kissing in the hallway. Here goes. It was Thanksgiving Day, and Ray got a little drunk, and he said to his sister, "You treated me like the outside mister, so I'm pissing in the hallway. I'm pissing in the hallway. 'Cause the toilet is too far away, and I'm pissing in the hallway, and you're gonna have to clean it up 'cause it's your house. I'm pissing in the hallway. I'm pissing in the hallway. I'd piss on the porch, but it's too cold. I'm pissing in the hallway."
It's insulting. A dog peed in the hallway. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense.
Coming out lake. Pissing in the hallway, pissing in the hallway. Ray, pissing in the hallway, pissing in the hallway, pissing in the hallway. What do you think you'll be? Ray, pissing in the hallway, pissing in the hallway. Did I kill myself yet? Ray, pissing in the hallway. Well, Ray was pissing in the hallway. He was pissing in the hallway. He was pissing in the hallway. He was pissing in the hallway.
That's enough. Thank you, Wayne. We're good.
He's pissing in the hallway. And how much more of this song can you take? You better tip Ray, because he's pissing in the hallway. Dwayne, that's a terrible song. Well, you wrote it. He's pissing in the hallway. Ray's peeing in the hallway. Ray's peeing in the hallway. And Dookie's gone in like the creepy focus that he is.
Oh, you heard about Ray in the hallway?
Yeah. It was Thanksgiving and Ray had too much to drink today. 'Cause it's Ray pissing in the hallway. It's Ray.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Insufferable Bastards podcast. You caught me as I was trying to check my messages on Twitter. My name is Carlos Danger. For the purposes of this broadcast, I'm not joined by my co-host, Mr. Brian Spears. Hello. But I do have a very special guest. As you can see, a surprise guest comes here on no notice. Ladies and gentlemen, Liam McEneaney.
Thank you very much. I'm glad I didn't go out and enjoy this beautiful day and stayed indoors and watched 22 Jump Street instead.
No, thank God for Doritos, fat guys, and basements, right? I would be nowhere without it. So we have a lot to talk about, Liam.
Before we do, though, can I say I've known April Brooker, the ventriloquist, for probably 20-something years, and that is my favorite thing she's ever done.
She is good. I mean, she is good.
It's such a niche audience, but as that member of that audience, I'm there for it.
Me too. All right, let's get right into it. There's this war that has been brewing between you and Raymond DeVito, my ex-partner to some extent. I'll say, please, know the context of what I just said. Partner in terms of podcasting, but so you were on MLC, I think Friday night for that 5-hour, as they say, show, and at the beginning. It was fun though, right? Yeah, I had fun.
I had a good, honestly. Oh, right, you were on it too. I forgot. No,
fuck you.
No, no, I had a great time. You know what, man? I gotta say, like, I do know some people who are like, why do you keep doing MLC? And because it just kind of like is becoming a spiral of hostility for me, and I just never laugh as much as I do on that podcast.
Let's talk about that. That's what spiral of hostility.
That's what it's becoming. Yeah.
Say that again.
I said that's what it's becoming. It's kind of not great, but
let's look at your role in it, though. Let's look at your role in it, Mr.
You?
Liam McEneaney. So you go on the show with Ray. This was a couple of Saturdays ago, and
Saturdays ago, yes.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm jumping around, and I apologize. It's been a while since I've done this. On this past Friday show, you talked about striking Ray's channel. That's what the fuck I'm trying to say. You kind of, and that's a big no-no in the hackverse, shitverse, dabbleverse. All these people have extensive criminal records. Maybe not as bad as ESO's going to have, but there's this unwritten rule. I think.
Right.
Maybe is written, penned in blood by the mayor, Carl, of WATP, that you don't strike channels, right? That used to be a thing. That's the worst thing you can do.
When you go after someone's money, it's an act of violence.
Act of violence.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the deal, and I'm sure we're going to go into this in a minute because I know other people had thoughts about this, but I'm going to say right now, I'm not actually going to strike Ray's channel. I did have basically, and we'll talk about this, but he is talking about family members of mine in a personal way. And I honestly, I think one of the reasons why I stick with these podcasts is I have a thick skin in terms of like, you can say a lot about me and I don't care. Really just kind of like, there's nothing mean about me you can't say that Patrice O'Neill didn't say when I was 25.
You?
Yeah, of course, dude. Patrice was honest.
Oh, damn.
So, or high school, or junior high school, or grade school. You know, I was a fat kid for a very long time, and I heard it all. But when it comes to family, I always draw a line there. And appealing to reason didn't work with Ray, and expecting him to just like understand he should stop didn't work with Ray because he would get high and he would take a gummy and. Someone like Dave Sarah would provoke him into ranting about me and my family all over again. So I had one of his videos taken down by YouTube.
How did you do that? Like, what, if I may ask, and maybe we're giving instructions, but people probably already know.
Instructions.
Well, what's the reason though? You have to have a reason. You check a box when you're making a complaint against a video, I would assume.
Well, when he's talking about my family, that's actually a privacy concern.
Okay.
And they take that very, very seriously at YouTube. They don't like doxing, which a member of Ray's chat was doing. And they don't much cotton to, especially a host doxing. I wasn't going to take down KB's channel. I was not going to file a strike against KB's channel, although that would have been very, very funny. But I had a video of Ray's taken down. And I let him know through his super chats, and I kind of was like, unfortunately, thinking in terms of what a normal human being does, which is they see it's not an empty threat, that it's actually something someone's willing to do, and they say, okay, well, you know what, maybe I'll stop doing that. And I know it's coercion or blackmail or whatever, but I was like, Ray isn't understanding what normal people would understand. Unfortunately. I forgot that he doesn't understand what normal people understand. And when we talked about it on Fatter Day, he wasn't even listening.
Right. Yeah. He's in this loop and he's broken when it comes to you. But let me ask you another question. And Kevin Brennan brought this up a lot. If you don't want people talking about certain things, isn't the worst thing you can do is say what they are? When you say, don't talk about this. Like, audience, don't talk about my blotchy zits. But then that's what. Effect. Yeah, but aren't you doing that over and over and over again?
Dude, again, look, and here's the thing. People have learned very quickly this has been my button, right? It's like everything else, like Doritos bags, you made a joke up top. I barely even registers anymore. I bring a Doritos bag on stream because actually now when I'm in Ralph's and I see party-sized Doritos bags, I kind of laugh to myself. So it's like a lot of stuff I feel like, but especially since my family are not in this world. A lot of this stuff doesn't go outside this world, but sometimes it does.
But aren't you directing these crazy people to go to the outside world by saying this?
Is absolutely the smartest thing I could have done in the moment. Was just kind of let it pass and then yell at Ray on the phone immediately after the show. Like that would have been the number one smartest thing I could have done. But again, also, and this is just an explanation of what's going on in my life. Everyone knows I'm in school. I'm in film school. The film classes are amazing, easy, fun. I have a great time, but I'm going for a bachelor's degree. So right now I'm doing all the GEs that I've been putting off the last couple of years. General education requirements.
Okay.
Philosophy, science, etc.
Wait, how did this turn into a talk about curriculum?
I'm about to explain it to you. You got to give me 1 second.
That's Kinky Loco with the $3.99 super sticker. Thank you, Kinky Loco.
Thank you, Kinky. Don't Ray DeVito on me yet. I'm getting to the point. The point is, I'm under a lot of pressure that way because I actually have to study and do the work and stay up late and attend lectures. And then also I've been working full time since the semester started with these various jobs I pick up so I can afford rent and party-sized Dorito bags and all the other things. Living indoors, not next to a treadmill.
Fucking Biden. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's the world we live in. I'm in LA. It's the third most expensive city in the United States. It just is what it is. So I'm under a lot of pressure right now. And normally that's kind of like my fun place where I like, KB's show, all these other Dabbleverse shows. This is like my fun time. But I was especially Saturday, that week I was not sleeping a lot. So it just kind of snapped and I just like raged out without thinking.
It was a human. And what we're talking about exactly is whatever. I don't remember the exact show. I guess was it a week ago on a Saturday night?
2 weeks ago. It was a Saturday 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So and there's the Franklin Sheckler video that details all this. And I encourage people, if you haven't already, and you probably have, seek out that video to watch it because he goes over it sort of detail by detail and actually has like a mouth reader or a lip reader. He can see what you're saying. So from your side, how did the conflict happen? Because from Ray's side, you made fun of his mom.
So what happened, and by the way, I'm so glad Sheckler made that video. I actually messaged him to thank him for that because I know Ray
working with Franklin Sheckler.
Totally hand and foot. No, but it's like I know Ray goes to New York and says all kinds of crazy shit about me to people, and it's all right. But I'm like, at least someone edited this video together, so if someone asks me, I can just send them a link instead of, because no matter how you explain it, it's always going to sound bad when dead moms are involved, right? But so basically, we were talking about Cleveland, and someone had referenced 3 Cleveland things in their super chat, and the third one was the Cleveland Clinic.
The Cleveland Clinic, okay.
Which I've never heard of, and which I said, "What's that?" And the sorcerer explained it, and then Ray made what certainly sounded like a joking remark about how his mom died of cancer there, and then started laughing. And I guess I was not reacting well that entire episode. I should have let it go, but instead I was just like kind of disgusted, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's real funny, Ray." And then he snapped back. He's like, "Isn't your mom suffering from cancer right now, Liam?" And then I got really, really angry. And that's what I look like when I'm really angry. Like you kind of can't tell all the time.
And you had said at some point to Ray, you had a private conversation with him.
Right. So
saying,
I spent the summer helping my mom out with stuff because she was going through it. And at one point I talked to Ray because I was doing his show over the summer. And we were kind of like making peace at one point. We were just talking about our moms and like,
I'm going to interrupt for 1 second because we have a guest backstage and it is a person. I thought it was a porn bomb. I'll let the guest in 1 second. Go ahead.
Sure. Anyway, that's it. So like I had also trusted Ray. Dude, again, this is me dealing with someone who is in a position now where he doesn't make correct choices. And I keep over and over again trusting this person to make correct choices. And that's my fault. That is actually...
On that note, let me bring in our guest, Liam's Doritos. How are you?
Very nice. Very nice.
Speaking of making incorrect choices...
Oh, boy.
Hello,
is this Doritos diff?
No, this is your actual bag of Doritos.
Oh no,
he does. What is it? Not Blue Ranch. What? Cool Ranch.
I do Blue Ranch, but it's your cousin.
I actually Cardiff.
My stomach's gotten worse and worse. I can't even do the hot corn Doritos anymore.
Sick.
Now, one thing that's
bastards.
I was going to say something about
how could I eat an entire bag of hot corn Doritos? My stomach's so bad.
One thing that Ray has said, or he said the other night, was, well, Liam's somehow brought up this issue in prior shows.
I did, I was thinking about it after that show because I literally couldn't sleep. And I was like, I did say at some point on his show over the summer that I was staying with my family because a member of my family was going through it.
Cancer. Ray told us.
I know, but I'm trying. The thing is, Doritos, is I'm trying to like get the genie back in the bottle and not like
you can't put the toothpaste back.
You can,
right? But I'm saying, but my point is, Ray said that Liam had said this before, and Liam is saying, no, I talked about it in a roundabout way. And Ray was the one that said exactly what it was.
All you guys talk about things in a roundabout way. You're so damn round.
We're fat. Yeah.
That's good. Liam's Doritos is killing it tonight, huh? All right, so there is a clip tonight. What's his name? Dave Sarah actually went live. Sarah. Yeah, and he talked about this.
See, this is exactly what I didn't want. This is exactly why, as soon as it came out of Ray's mouth, I got so angry because I knew it just never stopped.
So This is from Dave Sarah earlier this evening, and that's Cupcake, American Cupcake, and then Saul. Yes. What? And then what's the other gentleman's name? Shmuel Buckman.
Wait, which one's Shmuel Buckman? The old guy or the fat guy?
The older gentleman with is that a whaler's hat? Yeah, the cap.
Does it really matter?
The whaler and the whale?
Our last clip. This is Liam. This is Liam after they watched the clip of me and Ray, that Doom clipped, talking how I was a little frustrated with Liam.
That might be super low. Is that super low?
I'm trying to listen.
He talked about, he baited sort of Ray a little bit. Baited Ray.
All right, not to make this
guy talking about masturbating Ray.
Not to make it
No, what he's saying is like he watched the clip of me and all
he's saying that you baited Ray. That's the exact phrase that he uses. You baited Ray into this, that this might have been, I guess baited would insinuate that this was a plan, and then you came back at him and ripped him a new asshole.
Right, like because my plan was to get my mother's private and sensitive medical information out there in a way that would guarantee that Ray would never shut up about it. It was a great plan. I don't know what went wrong.
Have you and Dave Sarah talked since he was on Ray's show?
What would I talk to Dave about at this point? I've never met Dave. He keeps asking me to hang out with him. I only know him because we were on like one podcast together talking about a time he filmed a Stuttering John private party.
Oh, right.
Like we live in the same city, but I have a lot of friends that live in the city that I almost never get to see.
Jimmy I for $2. I'm missing Joey C's stream for this. Entertain us. I'm not here to entertain you. I would recommend going to Joey C's stream. Doritos, Joey C is your buddy, right?
He eats a lot of my friends, yes.
Yes. Yeah,
wait,
Doritos. Slow talking, that's not going to get annoying at all.
No, it will not.
Yeah.
Well, I know
comedy.
I know Doritos isn't Brian because he'd be much better making a mask than this.
That's right.
All right, the other thing, Liam. So that's Ray. Is there anything else you want to say about Ray? I guess from my perspective, I asked you a question, then I'll answer it. I couldn't get why. Okay, so Ray is talking about the Cleveland Clinic. He makes a remark. You make a remark. Then he reveals that personal stuff. You say, "Oh man, you're a fucking dick." It seemed like at that point, you guys were sort of even in terms of the insults or the wrongs you had allegedly done each other. I was surprised that Ray then took it into these other streams. So why do you think that is? Like, why does he hate you that much?
I think Ray's in a very bad place right now.
It's because you're fat.
Well, it's because I'm fat, and you really
don't work out, you don't go to the gym, you eat a lot of Doritos. That's the real reason. I have to go though. But thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Good night.
All right.
I'll see you tonight, Liam.
Sure. 2 a.m. when I'm really depressed.
I wouldn't even say who that is.
That's okay. I wouldn't be proud of it.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to embarrass him. But why does Ray hate you so much? That's
don't do many improv classes, so I don't hold it against him.
The fucking Roadcaster 2 with his voice disguise. Why does Ray hate you?
Well, first of all, Doritos is right. I'm a big fat guy, and Ray genuinely. I've come to learn this. It's not a joke. Ray genuinely hates fat people. I wonder what his parents maybe looked like. I wonder basically where this came from. But he's genuinely disgusted by fat people.
But is it also you're condescending to him though, according to him?
Well, here's the second thing. When I started doing Ray's shows, and I've actually gone back and watched like old clips of myself on his show just to confirm that I wasn't wrong about this. At first, I just he'd be like, I don't understand. Carl won't. I mean, KB wants to kick me off his show because I'm doing Ecomania in Vegas, and I would sincerely say, Ray, these are people Kevin sees as his enemies, and you're doing this show, and you think you're taking money from them, and this and then you're helping them out, and of course he's made it very clear about people who do his enemy shows. That's something KB has established over the years. And then what happened was people started telling Ray I was trolling him. And I think the reason was because it's more fun if Ray's confused and doesn't listen to sense than if, than if Ray's just because I would talk to Ray and he would end up by being like, yeah, maybe I won't go to Hackmania then, because he needs the money.
Right.
He needs the money. He made a big mistake by saying on Kevin's show that he can't afford to move out of that basement until, because he stopped getting the money from Super Chats from Kevin's show.
From Kevin, yeah.
And his own Super Chats have slowed down. And so, he kind of needs this money. And so I think it's just so that's part of it. And then kind of
think's in his ear? Who do you think was telling him?
I don't know.
Liam's trolling you.
I don't know, but it becomes a negative feedback loop where he gets mad at me for talking, and then I get mad at him, and then I do start condescending, and I do start getting mad, and I do start making fun of him to his face. Sometimes he doesn't know. Sometimes people have to tell him I'm making fun of him to his face. But once he catches on, he's always really, really angry about it. But it's also, I think, that is exacerbated by the fact that he thinks I'm a worse comic than him.
You're beneath him.
That I'm beneath him, that I'm not a real comic, and he is. And I know people have told him that too, and that's fine.
Who's the comic that hates you in New York? There's one you almost mentioned it the other night. There's one guy that is in Ray's ear that isn't a fan of yours.
I think I know who it is, and I really, honestly, Carlos, this is the time to squash it. Because here's the thing. If there's someone in New York, and there are, I think, a few comics in New York who don't like me. I know there's a couple who don't like that I'm on Kevin's shows, especially when he says certain things. So it could be a few people. But what I also know is that, if someone's really mad at me, and especially if they've held on to a grudge for 15 years, which is kind of once I got sober, I just kind of really pulled back on my outgoing behavior, let's say. So if someone's been holding on to a grudge for that long, and they don't want to talk to me about it, but they do want to talk to Ray DeVito about it, which means they're both very drunk together, getting high together.
Hey, allegedly.
No, I mean, this is what Ray says he does. So hey, there's a guy in the New York comedy clubs, and he hands out drugs, and let me tell you his name. But anyway, my point is just, if that's the person who doesn't like me, then I'm probably best rid of them. I really don't even need to spend time thinking about them.
So maybe we'll go.
Would bring that, would open that conversation. I don't want to open that conversation.
Go back to Ray maybe in a couple of minutes. The other thing I wanted to ask you about, and again, none of this was planned. I just messaged Liam an hour ago. But
actually, I would say we had a long Twitter DM conversation about this a couple days ago. And I mean, I hope I'm not blowing up your spot. I actually told Carlos about the work thing before I went on KB's show to talk about it.
Well, the work thing, and here's you talking about it. This is about a minute clip. You revealing that it is, in fact,
so horrible. My work.
Who made it? I forgot.
Someone I never heard of. But
No, I heard of them.
Nat Clo.
Oh, Nat Clo. Yeah, Nat
Oh
Clo.
shit. Okay, sorry. I didn't. No offense to them, but I was watching it, and there's all this footage of Ray from 2007, like doing stand up and doing sketches and all that. And he was like really together, and I was like, "Oh right, I forgot. Like Ray could really do stand up when I knew him in New York, and like he kind of wasn't like he is today." And then like.
Well, here's a question.
Yeah.
I said we would talk about the work, but
no, we'll talk about
when
everything.
you say, when we watch, there's that Nat Clo 2.0 documentary where it starts off with Ray from 2007, Ray's in these produced videos, it's prepared bits, then it's interspersed with his comedy act where it's scripted, prepared, things that Ray's worked on over and over again, knows like the back of his hand. What's the difference between that and what you're seeing now with Ray?
Well, I haven't seen Ray live maybe in 14 years. So let me start with that. I'm only going off of clips and that he posts himself, by the way. And it seems like, look, I can tell you from, let me actually talk about myself for a second. Favorite subject.
Your career.
No, not my career.
Right.
Kind of, but like I found there was a point for myself, and then when I looked at other people who maybe have drinking substance abuse problems, there was a long point where I could coast on natural ability, talent, and like jokes that I actually, one of the things that like gave me an escape from my alcoholism was writing jokes. So I would do that all day. And so like, but there's a point where, as they say, and I think you probably know this, you take the first drink, the drink takes the next drink, and the drink takes you. And it's the same way with stand-up comedians, where there's a point where you hit the absolute best you can do if you are a continued problem drinker, which I'm not going to say Ray is because we've never discussed it.
But you're heavily insinuating it.
But I will say for myself, what I noticed, especially once I got sober and looked at like some of the tapes I made for network trying to get on TV, is like there was a steady decline where like I didn't know my act like the back of my hand anymore. I would stare at the floor and mumble. I would just kind of like get up on stage and fumfer a lot instead of getting to my first joke. And I recognize some of that in the clips I'm seeing of Ray. And then to look back at 2007 and see, yes, this is the Ray I remember. This is the Ray that was the reason I started doing his podcast, because this is the Ray I knew, where it was the sketches he wrote and performed. Like, he was in those sketches, he's a good comic actor. There is talent there. You know, in that stand-up, the joke about I can't be haunted because I'm too poor. That's a great joke. It's actually
Sorcerer like that.
Yeah, it's very close to a joke that I had just recorded for my next album because I may not have remembered that Ray had
stole one of your jokes. You're saying Ray stole one of your.
I'm saying
you stole from him.
Similar but very different styles, and so therefore similar but very different, jokes.
And here's associate producer Ralph for $2 Canadian and 79 cents. Forward advances twice. Fat hack.
Was that Doritos?
The Doritos was OJ, the orange. OJ, come back as yourself.
Dude, come back as orange.
We got to know whether Ray has a lawsuit pending. I know you know OJ because you know Ray's deep, darkest secrets. We know you're the first person he called after he allegedly had sex with a woman. So come back as your stupid orange self. Although that's a lot for me to ask because he used to appear on this show all the time. And then he started his own thing, and I totally gave him the fucking high hat. So I get it, OJ. But
I want to know if Ray actually held his fingers up to the phones.
Right, there is a lot, and OJ maybe he talked about that on his stream this morning. I apologize, I'm not 100% sure. I do know that OJ badmouthed Shuli like I've never seen. That I'll get to. But all right, here he is, right here, obnoxious
we
John.
can talk about
Hello.
All right, there's OJ.
About to go to bed, so make it fast.
All right. Well, wait. We're not exactly at your segment. I want to ask Liam, Chad Zumock, the Z-Man, whose redemption arc is complete. He's at the top of the Dabbleverse right now. He overthrew fucking Tukey, the Canadian potato, right? OJ, even you'd have to admit that. OJ, can I bring up Chad Zumock without you leaving, though? You guys are buddies now, right?
Hey, I think he's coming. Unless that was a fake Chad Zumock, I think he might be coming on to OJ in the morning next Sunday.
Wow. There you go. Full circle.
I will say this about the potato, especially for that guy, it's a marathon. That guy is not bothered by ups and downs in the Dabbleverse, from what I've seen.
He's very zen. So Chad Zumock said that what happened to Ray between way back then in 2007 in those early clips that we saw and now is, and I don't know if it's 2007, that's just in my head, is he started podcasting every day. These Ray podcasts. And that's what people were like, well, what the hell's going on here?
Did you just say Ray oddcast? A rape oddcast? Sorry.
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
I've been making horrible jokes this week.
Hey, you know what? Between Ray, 2 nights on MLC, I'm sure there's plenty of room for more fat jokes.
Good.
But I'm gonna say this. I'm sorry, I just want to interrupt by saying one thing. There was a time when I would drink with Ray and party with Ray, and I was the worst person in the room. And, I had to quit. But the amount of drinking and drug use I'm seeing now is different than when I really knew him, 17 years ago.
Isn't the key to Ray, to save Ray, he just simply needs to stop podcasting every day. He works better, scripted material, prepared. Mm-hmm. That's his forte. And I'm not saying he's a great stand-up comic. I don't know. I know OJ's a fan. But
he's decent. He's not bad. I mean, I'm
not
a big fan of stand-up comedy, but when he goes out and does these little shows that I go watch him do, he does really well. So I don't know.
Why does he insist on podcasting so much, OJ?
He's an idiot. I know we've both told him to stop podcasting. He doesn't listen to anybody. He takes no advice from his friends or anyone for that matter.
So Chad was right.
Unless it's someone like he looks up to, like, like a comedian, like you guys were just talking about. He looks down to Liam, so he treats me with a little more respect because I'm on B Dabbling Live and I'm buddies with Cardiff and
And he holds Tukey. One thing about Ray, if you go and look, Rock Bottom Podcast, the episodes that actually make it to Apple Podcasts, used to be iTunes, I think. It's only the ones that he considers like grade A. So you're not going to find any fucking Carlos Dangers there. There's no OJs. B Dabbler.
Thank God.
Yes. It's like Danny Polishuk or whatever his name is. Dave Attell from 20 years ago. And then Tukey.
But here's the thing, and I don't want to cause a problem for you, OJ.
No,
but I've heard
cause me any problems.
I've heard Bedabbler talking about me. And a lot of the things that Bedabbler says about me, Ray then says about me. So especially about like the being too old to go to film school, things like that, where like I've heard that on that show first, and then I've heard it on Ray's show a month later.
I mean, does that surprise you?
No, but I'm saying like this is part of like why Ray looks down on me. Like I'm below you in Ray's estimation.
Oh yeah,
you're
for sure.
Show.
Yeah.
And it's a show that is like views me unfavorably.
Wow, I think we just have fun, man. We have fun with everybody.
I've heard. Well, anyway, I'm not here to like prosecute you over it. I'm just saying, like when we're talking about why does Liam in lower esteem than OJ, it's like because Ray hears what you guys say about me and then repeats it verbatim as if it was his idea, as Rays want to do.
Although he did say that you were below Andre Dubuchet on that second episode, right?
Listen, man, and I keep trying to say this on KB's show, and he doesn't want to hear it. Andre's a great comic.
Fuck Andre Dubuchet. Wait, let me read this super chat. Jimmy I for a Canadian $10. Liam, Ray has had his brain shuffled a couple of times. Mixes legal and recreational drugs, allegedly, and alcohol and gout. You can't reason with him. He's unpredictable.
So
I don't know about the drugs part. I've never witnessed Ray take any drugs other than him the Cretum, whatever the hell that stuff was. But
marijuana's a recreational drug.
Come on.
I'm just saying.
But I totally agree. Ray is unpredictable.
But the other thing too, and I kind of got in trouble for blowing up a confidence once, so I'm keeping this very general.
Uh-oh.
But I know someone who's known Ray, and this person has told me that, the way that he mixes all this stuff with his meds creates a literal chemical imbalance in his brain. That makes
I believe the Sorcerer said that on MLC at the end of the Ray therapy session, or he said, generally speaking, that's the end result. Ray Perbutt for $1.99. Ray's newest podcast. What's it all about? All right, now back. All right, there's Ray stuff. We'll come back in a second. But this work with Stevie Lou. So you're on MLC Saturday with me. I'm confused. I'm ready to go to bed. I'm crying. And you start talking about, or you've mentioned before, you're holding this evil thing over Stevie Lou's head. You insinuate maybe
the chat brought it up.
Maybe somebody in the chat brought it up when? Now, tonight, later? What are you talking about?
On Saturday.
On Saturday, okay. But you've been teasing this for a while. And then I can't really say. I have to talk to some people. And then at one, I guess I'm pointing out how nefarious you are, because at one point you bring up my buddy Brian Spears, who's not really in this world. Like, we hosted this podcast together. He watches, but he's not like in the chats. And I thought to myself that was like so evil to do, because there was nothing going on. But when you said that, I was like, oh, wait a second, maybe Liam because Brian's he does productions in New York City. So maybe Liam interfered and got Stevie Lou fired from some type of production gig. No, but it was all just a lie.
First of all, I apologize to your buddy Brian for, I started saying something a little more complex, and then someone shouted over me, and it just all, I think the only person that heard that maybe was you even. So because
I was like, what the fuck? What is?
Yeah. So basically it was like, I was going to tease this out for months. It was like, I could see with Stevie, the more I was vaguely talking about it, the more it made him like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know. Here's the deal. I spend a lot of time driving back and forth to school and to comedy gigs. I spend hours alone in my car listening to these podcasts. Behind the wheel, alone in my car with just my thoughts, it seemed like a very funny thing to do. And then kind of like that night, when we were talking about it, and then after seeing that Ray documentary, where I was like, God, I'm really like bullying Ray. Like, it's like a real, I pull some bully moves with Ray, and I don't feel good about that. I only talk about like what Ray does to me, but I was like, fuck, man, like Ray is like not the guy I used to know, where you could really bust his chops and mix it up and he would be able to take it. Like, he just can't take it anymore that way. It's just like, look, I started with a generation.
But then why are you lying about Stevie Lou?
Because
isn't KB?
Wait, I'm not done. So then I was like, and I'm doing this.
You're going on a walk around the block here.
Well, I'm explaining my mindset, and then I was like, and I'm doing this to Stevie Lou, and that's not right. So I need to come clean. And then I heard he was on KB's show, and I was like, can I jump on for a few minutes to talk about this? I'll jump off as soon as like the next guest appears. And I just came clean immediately. But I had this whole thing. I went to a book signing by a guy named Howard Berger, who is the Monster Effects makeup guy. And it's just like, I met everyone in Monster Effects makeup in LA. And I was like, I now know the lingo.
Does everything have to do with food with you guys? Even your last names. Jesus Christ.
No,
right,
I actually pulled this up because I knew it would sound like I was making a fat joke. But it's
is he from K and B? Is he the? Oh no. He's the B from K and B.
He's the B.
Oh, okay.
And then he had these other two makeup guys. He just ordered them to come up and sign autographs with him. So it was like an amazing night. These people I was sitting around, they were all
an amazing night, and you twisted it into a lie to make Stevie Lou.
I was going to make Stevie Lou absolutely nuts, and I really in that moment of what they call a moment of epiphany,
not clarity.
It was a moment of clarity where I was like, this is a really fucked up. I was like, this is a really fucked up thing to do, and I'm involving people who are very nice people who have no idea this is going on around.
So you came clean, but here's the thing, MLC fans, the MLC verse, they hate Works, allegedly.
And yet there's a million works going on that show constantly.
Like what?
People just lie. I don't want to blow up anyone's spot, but there's a lot of people who like tell half-truths or they just flat out lie or
blow up their spots. Who?
No. I'm
Are you talking about Ray DeVito's sexcapades?
Well, come on. That's
let's get to it. Yeah, that's OJ, come on. OJ. So Ray DeVito comes on the Saturday show. It was actually Saturday at that point. I believe it was 1:29 in the morning. Right. In an hour, he had 25 fat jokes. I think he broke a record. He turns things.
None of them were funny. It was a problem.
Right. But like he drops this bomb for the shitverse saying that he had sexual relations with a woman a few days prior. What can you tell us, OJ? What happened? Is he lying? Is this a mix of fact and fiction? Because we do know the Nat Clo, whatever the fuck it is, documentary comes out, and there's Ray talking in July, I think, of this year or last year about taking 2 blue chews and how his erection wouldn't die. It's the same thing.
It's the same story. Yeah, and before I even heard that story, I called bullshit.
Oh.
Yeah. He sent me a text in the middle of the night, much like the pictures he would randomly send us of him with women that he, would meet and then never see again, never get their phone numbers, not go home with them, nothing. It was just like these pictures to prove, like, hey guys, look, I'm not gay. I'm with a chick.
And just to interrupt, that's what I asked Ray. I didn't want to be included in any of that. I asked Ray twice.
I feel like that text he sent me was essentially one of those pictures. Like, hey, look, I'm not gay. I banged a chick.
Is that what did the text say?
I mean, I already read it.
You did? All right, read it. I mean, this is for
my stream.
The real shut-ins.
I told Ray that I read it too. He's like, "No, it's cool, it's fine." I was like,
"Pretend I'm watching movies all day and didn't see your stream."
While you're looking, we have a $2 super chat from beloved chatter who says someone equate Liam with the Tampa Papers. Yeah, the Tampa Papers were a terrible work.
That was a bad bit. That was like a failed bit. It wasn't as much a failed work.
The puncher.
Yeah. I had nothing to do with that. Here's Ray. I'm gonna leave part of it out just because I don't want to dox the person or like help people figure it out. But I hooked up with that chick. By the way, I'm done with 2 blue chews. It's too much. That was it. That was
Did he get the blue chews? Did he get the blue chews from you?
See, now I assumed they were from me, but I gave them to him over a year ago in Detroit when I thought maybe there was a connection with him and Ari Jane.
Oh, Jesus.
I went out of my way to get those blue chews for Ray for that.
You're not believing it.
But yeah, no. The more, especially with these Franklin Sheckler videos, like going back and all the lies and fibs that Ray tells, no, I'm not buying it. I don't think he got laid by a woman anyway.
Whoa.
That's not, what are you, fucking Chad Zuma?
All right, this is a Ray clip. I don't know if people can hear that. Because, I mean, the whole reason I'm doing this is to test this microphone with a new Rodecaster. All right, so I'm actually surprised. Because I want to believe Ray. I think you said that, Liam, the other night. I want to believe Ray.
Someone sent me a DM a lot of people DM me after that show, but someone was like really who's deep in this was like, how can, like, how dumb is KB? How dumb are you? And I was just like, look, I mean, KB said, whatever's the truth is, it's great content. That's what he said on his stream the next day. And what I said was like, for me, it's like, I don't know, let Ray have the win. Like, what am I fucking going to police as every fucking bad lie? Like,
and regardless of whether it's true or not, he did have a great weekend on MLC. Like, this is the redemption arc. Ray Libido. He was kicking ass. Still drove me crazy, but that's Ray's genius. I did notice when he came on Friday, he seemed morose. He seemed almost depressed. I was a little worried about him there. It was late. Me and you were kind of, or you especially, were picking on him a lot. But then Saturday, it was like another guy. It was like back to normal Ray. And here he is talking. This just sort of drove me crazy because this is Ray to a T to me.
I heard something the other day that...
Okay, should he watch the movie or not?
Yes, but once this episode's over.
No, but you watched it. You liked the movie?
Yeah, I saw it twice actually. It was pretty good.
2 times.
That's fucking heck. Stevie, were you high both times?
Fuck yeah, dude. That's how.
Fuck yeah. I think if you get high, you can enjoy anything. Look,
especially Deadpool 3. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, Simple Joe, get high. I don't know if you're high already because your name's Simple. Yeah. Get high and enjoy it. Simple
okay,
Joe.
so I heard this thing that like men age 20 to 25, if like they're polled, who are the most significant male inspirations in Hollywood for them, they all say superheroes. So like the young men coming up right now, that's all they're seeing is just Marvel and DC. It's like that's all we have for these kids growing up, and that's who they're, looking to try to.
Why, Sorcerer? Because they want to live in some fantasy world. They're just losers, and they want to live in some fantasy world.
But that's not fair because that's what we had. I liked Luke Skywalker and Han Solo.
I didn't. I thought they were gay. I didn't watch any of those fucking movies.
All right, here's my point. Now, yes. All right, Stevie Lou was a little wordy there.
Did you have to start at the very start of his?
Well, because here's the thing. He lays all that out, and actually by the end of it, and this is, I'm a movie geek, and Liam, I hear you're a movie fan.
I do go to school for it, yeah.
He actually lays out a very reasonable argument that like all we see out of Hollywood like the last 15 years are these fucking superhero movies made for man children and man toddlers and people wearing their underwear on the outside and all that shit Marvel's done. And Ray's just like, oh yeah, we had Star Wars. There were 3 Star Wars movies, Ray. How many fucking Avengers movies has there been? The fact that he couldn't follow, yes, Stevie Lou was talking a lot, but he completely misses the point. And I guess that's what makes Ray so fascinating, because you just want to.
I'm actually gonna surprise myself by standing up for Ray here. Star Wars toys, books, and ancillary things were literally multi-billion-dollar a year industry.
I had all that shit.
80s. Yeah, me too. Like,
I'm not saying we didn't, but I'm saying there were 3 of them. Here, oh, you know what? Fuck you both. Fuck you both. Listen to this guy.
I mean, that is one of the, and I'm not even putting them down, frankly, to tell you the truth, but that is one of the legacy of the Marvelization of Hollywood movies.
Yeah.
Where it's...
you love these movies, these Marvel movies.
I don't love them. No, I don't love
them.
All right. I don't hate them. All right. But I don't love them. All right. I mean, look, I used to collect Marvel comics like crazy when I was a kid. And so there's an aspect that if these movies were coming out when I was in my 20s, I would totally be fucking happy and totally love them. I mean, they wouldn't be the only movies being made. They would be those movies amongst other movies.
Thank you, Quentin Tarantino. Thank you for proving Carlos Danger right.
But while they were making Marvel movies, they were also making more Star Wars movies.
Well, yeah, because
like
it's all just
like a neck and neck thing.
It's all just a giant commodity now. I'm just saying there were 3 Star Wars movies. Yes, there was merchandising. Yes, it was the dawn. Well, Jaws was the dawn of the blockbuster, but Star Wars, yes, was the first franchise to be toys and all that. But to compare the two, it's just what? There's nothing else.
Novels, you had comic books. I mean, like people were creating their own adventures. Like Star Wars was the proto Marvel franchise.
Right, but there's just no comparing the two. One is just
really
all you get. What else came out in 1977, right? Annie Hall, all that kind of shit was happening. There were other movies in the theaters. It wasn't just fucking Deadpool 3.
Yeah, right.
I guess that's nothing. You know what? I'm going to go to the free chat because how many people are calling us
pause
after all this? I apologize.
Look, the first thing you learn in film school is how to sound like a know-it-all. So I could argue forever.
There's other stuff. I'm sorry,
it's
we're way behind.
My dream to work in films, Liam. So if you ever make it, don't forget the orange, man. I'll be.
I don't know who you are or what you do.
I'm an orange. I float around. I look like an orange anus.
Dude, trust me. By the time the film industry recovers enough for me to be able to cast anybody, I'll be too old to work.
We got a Team Catalano from Kinky Loco. We got a Liam Stinks from King of All Diffs. We got a random Christian Blatt. It never wasn't annoying, Carlos. Yes. I was enjoying the show. Lose that bag of shit. I mean, that could refer to any of us. Muzzle of bees.
I think that was me. I remember that.
Flat Cat Jessica.
That was the Dorito.
Oh, it's that long ago?
I'm sorry about that, by the way.
No, that was great. Actually, I was chipping. I enjoyed that. Flat Cat Jessica does not like me. Nat Chloe only talks about his school and trolls Ray and acts all innocent about it. I'm copping to it. I don't just troll Ray now, I bully him. And that's like something I'm pulling back on.
So you're saying you didn't recognize you were doing that because you used to be, let me restart that. You were used to doing that to him in the past.
No, the opposite. But it's like when I started, the generation of comics I started with were like ball busters.
Right.
And then
That's
some
what
were
I thought
bullies.
you were saying.
Yeah, and like some were bullies and some were not. But it's just like a mode, especially once like you get into that thing where like one person's mad at, and then the next person escalates, and the next person escalates, and then like it's just like genuine antipathy on both. I'm sorry, anger on both ends, and I gave into it. And here's the thing: it's fun. Like I'm not going to deny it. It's like it's fun to go back and forth with a guy, especially a guy where you walk on his podcast, you can win if you want. And
Although Ray, no, not right now, Liam. No,
I made 30 flat jokes. I picked
not
up
on my show.
He has been doing pretty well though. Like there's I don't know, maybe Ray's coming out of something. What am I saying? I don't
Yeah, I don't know. Well, because I was just gonna say Franklin Sheckler here told me the other day through.
Oh,
via
you're
Super Chat.
working with Franklin Sheckler.
No, via Super Chat. He said that Ray will not. He won't be on screen if Kevin puts his Super Chats up. He removes himself from the screen.
Yes.
Or Zimbabwean Cupcake, whoever that
Right.
is.
I don't think he's getting better.
Franklin Sheckler for $2. How many cookie dates with Kevin Jr. equals 6,000 images? And that's a reference to Franklin Sheckler's latest video, which I think came out yesterday, about Ray saying he kind of never met or didn't have a serious interaction with Kevin's wife. And then Kevin in past videos saying like you had a couple of minutes together.
Oh, his wife's great.
Right. And also Ray's memory becomes crystal clear when it comes to meeting Kevin's son.
Yeah.
Like
all right. So, all right, that brings us
a favor.
Say that again, Liam.
I said, Ray, you're not doing yourself a favor. Like,
well, the whole thing. Okay, crystal clear with a young fella. The lawsuit, allegedly. What is going on? Every time Franklin Sheckler comes on screen, Ray essentially literally runs away. I might even have a short clip of it. He said many times, I had like 8 people message me, right? And nobody messages me asking like, what did I do to Ray? What is Ray talking about? Why can't he mention me? Yeah. OJ. Yeah. See, right. There's stuff going on in the MLC verse. It's Ray going crazy. So I'm asking you, OJ, I think you know, I swear, you know, what is going on? Did he talk to a lawyer? Is
I'll
it his
tell you-
sister? The rumor in the chat was that he went there and his sister's going to hire a lawyer or thinking about hiring a lawyer. Am I going to get sued?
Look, I said it on my stream or B Dabblers or somebody's stream, one of these damn streams. Ray started talking about attorneys a month, maybe 2 months ago. And as soon as he started talking about it, I was like, Ray, I don't want to be involved with this at all. I don't want to know about any of this. And Ray got very angry when I told him that, like,
Okay, fine. Well, some people have my back, some people don't. I get it. Yeah.
and he's trying to give me this guilt trip. And it's like, Ray, I'm sorry. I just don't want to know about any of this shit. And I left it at that. Like, sorry, I just don't want to know. I don't want to. My thinking was, if there is some sort of lawsuit, I don't want to get pulled into it. So that was my thinking.
Right. And I don't know.
But as far as the sister stuff, I never got that far into any conversations to find that out.
That might have just been something that was floating around a chat. I mean, I'm looking right here. I got a book right here.
I mean, also AC/DC said in the chat that Ray asked him to investigate Franklin Sheckler because he's a former law enforcement. And AC/DC was like, just kind of like, did not like what Ray was asking him to do and stopped talking to him.
Is he claiming like defamation or harassment or like what?
Like I said, I didn't want to, I just didn't want to get involved. So I didn't.
I mean, I'm looking at the 5 things a successful libel plaintiff must prove. Number 1, a defamatory statement was made. Number 2, the defamatory statement is a matter of fact, not opinion. So those are like 2 of, they list 5. And then the whole thing is, it's parody, it's comedy, it's a YouTube. This is all shit from his podcast, which is comedy. These are funny. These are not true statements that Franklin Sheckler is
I don't want to
making.
speak for you, but I'm assuming you probably said this to him. I know I did. I tried explaining that to Ray. Like, Ray, I know you don't think this is funny, but I think it's hilarious. I'm sorry you don't see it that way, but it's comedy. It's parody. But
also, it's Sullivan's. I don't know.
It's not. It's BYOC.
Yeah, you got to be careful. They will charge us a caviar opening charge. So
Ray, you know, there's another Sheckler making. There's another documentary about you. Naklo made one. Like, there's competition about the Ray DeVito story. Are you flattered? Is my question.
I mean, I'll talk to you offline about that. But the other guy,
no, on air is better. Ray, just talk about
no, because there's stuff that no.
What are you suing? Another lawsuit?
No, the guy that just. All right, I'm not. All right,
yeah, if you can't talk about it, you can't talk about it.
Is it a work? Is it a Liam work? Are you doing a Liam work on me right now?
No, he ain't, because he can't. He can't even. He can't talk about Sheckler. I made the caviar. I spank it into bubble wrap. He said, Stokely.
But the guy did that thing, and I thought it was great. Like, you're allowed to make jokes at my expense. It's like just the weird shit, like that's causes me work.
Oh, so you're endorsing the Naklo doc?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I really like the "I'm too poor to be haunted." That was really funny.
Yeah, that's a joke of mine. That's a joke from my act.
Yeah, we saw it. That's what he was.
Yeah, no, you're allowed to you're allowed to appreciate my jokes and
Naklo's a fan. Naklo's a fan.
I liked it. I saw that and I thought,
Ray's endorsing.
Same thing with like My Lost Interest. You're allowed to, when you take weird shit and then you twist it to something that's not true, it's against the law and you're going to be in trouble for it. So that's all.
Wow.
Sounds like
that was just recently, right?
That was last night.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds like an attorney has been talking to Ray about what is defamation, what is liable, what's allowable, and what's parody.
Yeah, because I thought,
I mean, this is so stupid, so dumb. I mean, look, I know I take a lot of shit because I consider Ray my friend. People call me an idiot, but Ray, this is dumb, man. If you're listening to this, you're an idiot. If you're seriously trying to file a lawsuit or whatever the hell you're doing because of some parody videos.
You know, if Ray is listening, or if this is an My Lost Interest clip or whatever, I will again point out right now these Sheckler videos are contained to this universe, and nobody but us sees them. But if you go out and you file an actual lawsuit, then you take it to the outside world. And again, that's why I was bluffing when I said, I'll take Ray's channel down or whatever, because I was just like trying to get him to shut up.
Sorry, keep talking. Sorry.
No, it's just the worst thing you can do. That's all. I mean, look like Issa, man. That guy hid being fucking. Oh, that's the case right there. He hid being convicted for child molesting for a year.
Suddenly, and I don't mean to. I'm not comparing Ray to Issa in any way. I'm just bringing this up because you're talking about how it goes to the outside world, and this is what happened. I had this up because I couldn't find where the media wrote about Issa when he was arrested a year ago, but I saw today in either Hackverse Anonymous or Shuli's Anonymous, there was a compilation video. And in fact, there was literal press about the arrest in 2023, which was news to me. Maybe it's not news to anybody else, but it was definitely in the public arena, literally back in 2023.
I didn't even know Shuli had a producer named Issa, let alone that this had happened.
It was a little old school. He kind of he was with Shuli streaming video games and stuff.
He was his original producer, I believe, for YouTube anyway.
Yeah, and even when it was audio only. Actually, I'm talking out my ass right now. I don't know.
Are you saying that Shuli helped fund Issa's glamour shots business?
I think that's what you're saying.
I'm just asking questions.
And here's Ray running away, though. There's something else I wanted to talk about. Oh, I'm going to come back to it because OJ lodged an incredible insult against Shuli today that I guess everyone's ignoring.
Before, though.
Everybody's ignoring it. Wait, here's Ray
ignores me all the time.
It's safe to come back.
Ray, why is the beloved
goes
cheddar
right
matter?
back like nothing ever happened.
I like this. This is
Wait, I should have set that up a little more. What a Zimbabwean cupcake super chat had just been on the screen. Ray ran off, and this is him returning. Sorry.
It's safe to come back.
Ray, why is the beloved cheddar matter?
Like nothing ever happened.
I like this. This is seamless.
Is this healthy, doctor?
I don't know, but like,
doctor, is this healthy?
None of this is.
I've only known him in good capacities, but like, yeah, dude, it's fine. You don't like me, you don't have to.
What do you think could be this thing though that happens where people get to know you and then they turn on you? Or
I
they-
don't know.
Like
I
great
haven't-
people, beloved Chatter, Carlos Danger. These are Leo Gunn. These are great men.
pillars of the community, they would say.
It's like the Mount Rushmore of the Dabbleverse, and they all turn on you. Is that why you told this lady that you fucked the other night, allegedly, that you don't want? It's like you're like Pee Wee Herman. You're like you don't want anything to do with me. I'm bad news.
I'm a loner. I'm a loner,
I'm a
Dottie.
loner,
I'm a
Dottie.
rebel.
Yeah, I don't know if he's joshing me or if he's being serious, but like,
No,
I
he's
don't.
mad. Everyone
I don't
gets
tell,
mad at you
yeah.
eventually.
It's
And go
serious.
Yanks. Fuck you, Ray. No. We don't want Lenny to get any pleasure. Fuck the Yankee.
Yeah, I meant to edit that one down. Sorry, but I can't believe Ray let a Mount Rushmore joke go by without calling me fat. I thought that was a sign of progress, right?
I did see a clip of you writing down every time Ray made a fat joke. I thought that was pretty brilliant.
That was great.
That was my bit.
You know, the thing too is like, so Ray sues Franklin Sheckler, and he goes up in front of a judge, and he says, "Your Honor, this man has an audience of 700 to 900 people, and I am losing $100,000 a year worth of work." The judge is going to be like, "All right, get out."
Right. Yeah, there's no way it can go anywhere. And I think I have these other things up like avoiding libel and satire that I would just bore people to death. There was just something recently in 2024, September, Texas High Court finds satire not libelous. You know, this stuff, there's like, not to get geeky, but there's like case law going back forever that Franklin Sheckler is absolutely protected by it.
Right.
But also, you know, Sheckler has visited the Planet Fitness story a few times. And every time he edits together all the podcasts that Ray has told the story on to show that it's not just a story Ray tells, but it's one he consistently tells with the same beats identically over and over. So it's like, if it's not the truth, Ray needs to cop to that, because otherwise, you know, Sheckler's just using his own words.
And there, OJ, because you're really the Kevin, I'm sorry, what's his name? Ray DeVito expert.
The whisperer. It used to be you, and then dude, I don't talk to Ray that often anymore. Really, I mean,
well, he booted me, and actually, you brought it up. The whole picture thing.
We're still friends and friendly and stuff, but we don't. It's not like we talk all the time.
All right, the Planet Fitness thing. The way I understand it was Felicia rats him out to Planet Fitness, and Ray is banned.
Not cool, by the way, if that's true.
But that's the question.
Hilarious.
Is it true? And the way Ray explained it to me was that basically he was banned, but he's buddies. His buddy, a friend of mine. He let me get the manager's friend. I'm going to Planet Fitness. But so did he ever get banned? Was it all just because it was being alleged on the show the other night on MLC that this was by Liam McEneaney that this was just.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
This was a ruse. This was a ruse. This was a way to gain sympathy.
Yeah, I don't know what to believe anymore.
Fuck
you know,
yeah.
Joey C and his whole hurricane lies and where he had to leave his place. Did you hear all of that? I'm not sure if you did.
No, I haven't been. I don't watch anything.
After lie after lie after lie. So yeah, no, it wouldn't surprise me if someone else in the Dabbleverse was lying.
And this is not speaking of. Here's a person that is a is it Paragon a word? Is it Paradigm? Whatever. Ari Jane for $4.99. It's cute how you three are being silly together. Thank you for entertaining us.
I regret. I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
I believe that is the real Ari Jane. Yes.
I'm friends with one Ari Jane on Twitter. I don't know who's catfishing me. So anytime a woman from the Dabbleverse DMs me, I'm just polite and keep it moving.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what your Twitter is like. All right, so this I think this was this morning. Obnoxious John does his show OJ in the Morning, which is on Sundays, but now it's on like it's 3 days a week, right? Are you doing you're doing a whole lot of shows, right?
I don't know. I'm experimenting. I don't know. Right now, I'm trying Thursday and Fridays also, but we'll see.
But somebody comes on and maybe they're actually. I'll just play it. I'm going to shut up. Sorry.
Guy has the same qualities as Shuli. Not very funny, lower end whack packer. But why did Shuli get the job and not Big Black?
Please rate Shuli Edgar's stand-up. He's pretty much comparable to Ray.
Ray, which I know Vince is laughing, and I know a lot of people think Ray stinks at comedy. Whatever, fine. But I have them at the same ranking. Shuli and Ray, they're about 6s, and when they're on fire, they're maybe a 7.
I say on a 10-point scale, maybe like a 6 or so.
Now, Big Black is clearly saying that Ray and Shuli are on the same level, which I agree. I would say that Shuli's a little bit better than Ray, just a little bit.
I would disagree with that, Vince. And the reason I would disagree with that is because Ray, he's like, okay, fine. They're not all paid gigs. Sure, he goes to open mics, but he's always constantly working on the stuff, performing on stage. I don't think Shuli is doing that much these days. Am I wrong?
Now, let me ask Liam, right?
Yeah.
Of the three of us here, Liam has clearly had more stage time. He's can I call you a working stand-up comic?
I mean, dude, look I just recorded a special and I'm doing paid gigs again because of it, but also
okay. So let's say
it's not my focus anymore. So I don't know.
Let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
If a floating orange on a Sunday morning compared your stand-up to Raymond DeVito,
yeah,
how would you react?
So here's the thing, and no offense, OJ, it'd be like a tree falling in the forest because I wouldn't hear it. I mean, like, to be going out and looking for people who are insulting me, I don't need that. I can just ask Kevin for the link anytime. And people.
All right, but that's a scenario. That's a politician's answer. Well, I didn't see the clip. I didn't see the child get shot in the head.
Here's what I would say, OJ. If you said I was equally good to Shuli, I might be a little bit offended, and I'll tell you exactly why. Because Shuli, I've seen.
Wait. Being compared to Shuli is the insult? I assumed being compared to Ray is the insult.
Here's the thing, and I think OJ's right, and I'm not just being political about this. Ray's out there all the time. And as sad as his life is driving up and down I-80 from like living situation where no one wants him to living situation where no one wants him, the truth is he does it is because he's dedicated to working on his act, because he has a rock solid belief that the day's going to come when he makes it. I don't have that belief anymore. So I would say probably just in terms of the meat and potatoes, like getting up there, doing crowd work, getting the crowd to laugh, keeping the energy up. Ray's better than me. I would guarantee that. In terms of writing, or in terms of like if I took it seriously and really hit the road for 5 years, it might be different. But I would give the edge to Ray. On the other hand, Shuli, who I've seen him do funny stuff on Live at Gotham or whatever, but it's the same bits over and over again. And so eventually it's like, you are a comic who has a very good 12 minutes. And that's nothing to be ashamed of. It gets you on TV. It gets you a gig on the Howard Stern show. It gets people booking you for showcase gigs, which is great. But in terms of being like an actual working stand-up comic, you got to do more.
Wow, this is shocking to me. Before we go to OJ, my friend Obnoxious John, we have a super chat from the great Tigger 747474 for $4.99. Thank you very much, Tigger. Going to be pretty funny when the judge asks for proof of lost revenue from the videos, and Ray shows the judge $70 of lost wages from a card ripping gig.
That's what came to my mind too.
Did Sheckler point out that the football player was getting all the laughs on that show? I think that was him that pointed that out.
Colt C OG for $4.99 for the donut fund. Thanks a lot. All right, OJ, so you've been involved in the Dabbleverse for a while now.
Feels like forever.
Yeah. And
before it even was the Dabbleverse. Yeah.
Before it had a name, before the subreddit existed, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
or approximately.
Yeah. Before, yeah, it was before the.
My point being, you know who
Tabloids.
Shuli is,
Sure.
right? You know the Shuli Network.
I do.
And you were watching the Shuli Network. Correct me if I'm wrong. When Ray had a show on there, 1 p.m. Thursdays.
Not at that point. I wasn't watching the Shuli Network anymore.
Okay, are you aware of the animosity between a Shuli Egar and a Raymond DeVito?
Absolutely, we were mixed up in that nonsense.
Right. What was Shuli's opinion of Ray's comedy?
Probably how Ray looks at Liam.
So when you said that this morning, isn't that is an insult, OJ? When you were trying to hurt the Shuli.
No, not at all. Just giving my opinion. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's insulting to say. I don't think like what's an 8, 9, or a 10? You know what I mean? Like
when they're on fire, they're a 7. That was pretty good. So are you trying to? My theory is that OJ is trying to build a rift between Bob Levy and Shuli. We all know that Bob Levy's he's hanging on, but he's looking elsewhere. He's looking over the fence.
Well,
Perry Caravello, Hack Ride, now OJ. What's going on?
You must have missed the Shuli ball licking segment where I licked his balls and complimented him for a few minutes.
Well, that's when you went into PR mode. That first insult was from the heart.
They both were. I was a fan of Shuli when he was on Stern. I've always said that.
But the other thing too, right, is like you're talking about 6, right? Like I've listened to and seen everything Richard Pryor's recorded. On literally his worst day, he was a 9.
Right.
I mean, that's like, and I'm sorry if this insults Shuli. Shuli doesn't touch Richard Pryor. That's the upper echelon of comedy. You got Chris Rock, you got all like Dave Chappelle, so 6 is above average. That's not bad. I would say right now I rate myself a 6 or a 7, maybe. But, and that's, I'm great. So can you imagine?
It sounds like you guys are backing out of this now.
I'm not backing out at all. I'm just saying, like,
hey, how am I backing out of it?
You know what? I've stopped paying attention. I apologize. I just pulled a Ray on you guys. I'm sorry. I just said whatever words came into my head. I was reading the free chat. Actually, I read this one.
John.
I'm taking Dr. Chow. You can afford $2, motherfucker. Jason Gilbert. What went awry at the NAMBLA retreat in the woods, Carlos? I was just on the Ray DeVito show on the Mud Shark Central. What's a sit down Zumach? I went through the entire thing, blow by blow, and I do mean blow by blow. Dr. Chow, the Mega G.
I'm mad at Zumach because I'm a member of his channel, and a buddy of mine told me, "Oh, you got to listen to the last Ray DeVito show." He hasn't put it up. It's I haven't had a chance to listen to it.
Oh no! Well, hey, Liam, what's going on in Florida? Have you no heart? Are you only thinking about yourself?
Dude, his apartment wasn't touched. Now I know that.
He's got no electricity, no cell phone. He moved to a Joey C.
Are you telling me he doesn't have enough cell service in Florida to just kind of shift the thing over to make it members only? How dare you?
Stephen Bravo with $2. Thank you very much, Mr. Bravo. I got this for Dr. Chow. Now where'd Chow's chat go? There it is. Okay. Dr. Chow, the Mega G. Check out the Ray DeVito show he does with Chad Zumach. Wrong. Shuli and Bob thought Ray was a good comedian. I disagree. Until they actually saw his act when he performed at Chris Abel's wedding. Then they realized he was horrible and tried to kick him off Pottstown. Okay, my opinion, and I could be wrong. Ray got to the Shuli Network because they saw what he was essentially a whack packer for Brennan. That's what happened. They knew that because Shuli, there's a long line since he left Stern. The Miserable Men show, they had the guy Lenny, I think his name was. It's all it's entertaining. It's entertaining, and that's that old comes from the Howard Stern show. So I don't really think they brought him there, Dr. Chow, because they thought he was a good comedian. Maybe they did, but I think the real motive was. This guy is great.
No, I distinctly
and the pink blanket
remember that was the reason because I was trying to look out for Ray, the idiot that I am, and I knew exactly what they were up to with Ray. That's the only reason they were bringing him over, to turn him into the low cow on their channel that he's become.
And you want to say, like, whatever you want to say about Mike Bichetti, he's an interesting guy, but he is doing his own podcast, and he's kind of like he's seen that he's a super chat magnet, and he's like figured out like, okay, I'm just going to team with a producer and just do a show where I get paid,
and I'll give it a shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beloved Chatter says Shuli is a grifter who has no real opinions of his own. He just goes with the crowd. Sounds like you're describing me.
I will also say, guys, comedy's literally the only thing Ray's got now. Like, you know, like it's funny to like fuck with him in terms of a stand-up and giving him a standing O and all that, because he just can't see what's happening around him. But also, part of the reason he's so blinded is like literally, if the stand-up went away, what's left? Like, what's there? You know?
And isn't that?
He should be. Someone mentioned a cruise ship comedian the other day, and I thought to myself, God damn, that would be the perfect job for Ray. But he could have a place to live. They feed him.
Dude, he's already got a story about getting kicked off a cruise ship.
Right.
For being drunk. Yeah. So
he didn't return to the boat in time. But that brings up, Liam, you bring up an interesting point. I mean, I'm saying it's interesting because it's my thought. What a fucking asshole I am. But to me, right? Maybe I've gotten into edibles, but the Dabbleverse at the end of the day, and the Hackverse and the Shitverse, right? This whole thing.
It's all the same.
It's all about a bunch of dudes contending and dealing with and trying to lay out a plan when it comes to getting old.
50-year-old up-and-comers.
Right. And it applies to me, too. Why am I on this? Why I have a job. Why am I sitting here risking whatever, embarrassing myself because I have I had a sixth grade dream to be David Letterman? Like, why am I doing this? It doesn't make sense. I'm 51. Is this a midlife crisis? And then you look at all of them. Shuli, I mean, nobody, like, Shuli didn't achieve the level of stand-up where he was Richard Pryor, right?
You know, anyone who asks me this immediately talks over me, and I never get the answer out. I'm going to film school at the age of...
Carlos, anyways, back to Ray.
That was pretty good.
OJ, I'm glad you saw me teeing that up for you.
But doesn't it apply to everyone, though? Like, everybody's just trying to, like, even Brennan to a certain point. He's trying something new. He's trying something different. Go ahead, Liam.
I mean, I'm saying I'm going to film school because I've been in the business for a very long time. I successfully produced a film, you know, in 2010, but I never had the courage to go for it. And then one day I woke up and this is like 8-9 years ago, and I was like, this is as good as I'm going to do in stand-up. Like, I've hit that ceiling in New York. I have to go to LA and figure out what the next step is. And I didn't plan to go to where I'm going. And, you know, it wasn't like a grand design or anything, but I just decided to trust that if I took steps, there would be a path under my feet. So people are like, why are you going to film school? Is because the opportunity opened itself up to me. And it's something I've always wanted to do and never had the courage to do when I was young, when I had many more opportunities to get into that side of the business.
And isn't I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, please, I'm done.
You know, I used to listen to Mark Maron when he first became a thing. You know, I think right around the time of the Carlos Mencia interview, like New York Times did an article on him. And I was like, oh, this sounds like something I would like. Because in those days, it was about him not settling old scores, but he would just go back and he would have these comics he was a dick to. Because, you know, I was looking for some type of conflict in podcasts, something that wasn't just, you know, hacks. Where was I going with that? Oh, one thing that would always be a theme on that show was, oh my God, did you see this 50-year-old comic who's still doing this club wherever, still hasn't made it, but still, you know, chipping away and thinking the dream's going to happen. And
wow,
so,
man.
But that's what the Hackverse is to me. Like, it's instead of being in the clubs, which is a young man's game, right, and doing stand-up, everyone's trying this.
Man, and maybe that's why I was kind of, not only for the stern aspect, but maybe that's why I was attracted to it. I mean, I was a struggling artist most of my life trying to make it, and I had to make a choice. You know, it's like, whoa, I'm getting old. I don't want to be the guy that you just described, that 50-year-old guy still trying to make it. So, I mean, like, you know, but I admire anybody that goes after their dreams. Absolutely, you know.
And look, we got support from beloved chatter. I'm going to law school in the fall for the same reason. I hope he's not joking. Why the fuck not? We'll all be dead anyways. Right. And there will just be things we've done and things not done. All right.
Hey, humble brag. I'm a high school dropout. Went back to school. Got a degree in medical. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would go back to school. And just for myself. That's fuck everyone else. It was something I wanted to do for myself, and pretty cool. They can never take that away from me.
I've said it over and over again. I dropped out of high school, got my GED, did a semester of college, got a tour, dropped out of college. I literally thought college was not a thing that I would ever do. And then during the pandemic, when when the Chinese government opened up the vault in Wuhan and let the diseases out. OJ has to.
Hey,
leave.
no, wait, but I'm just YouTube, man. You gotta be careful. You're gonna have to cut that out.
YouTube, I'm being very sarcastic. I apologize.
If I lose this channel, it's not.
No, they'll put
it would probably be a good thing.
Yeah, they'll put one of those things below in the description. But just edit that part out.
But even Carl, he didn't dream of being a host of a podcast, right? He was in marketing at newspapers, running his own marketing company, being in the band, blah 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 blah. Right? And then he's been successful, right? But it's all about dudes getting old and trying this shit. Even Pete Dabbler, right? He was an open micer at one point.
Yeah.
And then he came back and he's found this success as Tukey in the wonderful Hackverse.
Yeah, that's why I don't take it seriously when people put me down in this world, because this is a world, like you said, of people literally just like, this is my second act and I'm making money at it and I've got an audience, which is all I ever wanted. And isn't going to yell at me for being out every night doing stand-up comedy for free.
The way the shitverse audience is, though, it's like you would think everyone's as they're typing and shitting on me, calling me fat, they're all just doing crunches all day long.
Oh yeah, I'm sure
they're fucking models and in their Lamborghini. It is kind of funny. All right, maybe we'll start to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I played Ray Runs. I had OJ. I'm shocked at how cruel you were to Shuli.
That's not the first time. Cruel?
Well, it was cruel. It was cruel.
What would you rate Shuli Egar's comedy on a scale from 1 to 10?
There was this other 1 to 10. I don't know anything about comedy. Who am I to judge?
Carlos, you made us do it. Come on.
I mean, I've seen Shuli twice, and I had a resentment against him for many, many years because I saw him at the Killers of Comedy. And you go there and I was expecting to shit my hands and throw.
Oh
it
my
on
God,
stage.
1 to 10, 1 to 10.
I thought I'd have sex with High Pitch Eric in the aisles, and Shuli came out. Shuli came out and told everyone to shut up. He's like, anybody acts out, you get thrown. I was like, and that's how he started the show.
Right.
So it took me a while. I don't know. I guess I'd give him a 5. I'd give him a 5.
You have to really listen to Beetlejuice.
So wait, you're saying that I was being cruel. I gave him a 6, and I said that when he's on.
Well, you were being political. You couldn't really say your number.
No,
you work with him.
That's the real number.
I'd give him a 5.
Wow.
But that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to be cruel.
Wow.
I am curious.
Ask me what I'd give Ray.
What do you give Ray?
I'd give him a 1.
He's number 1. Ray, he's saying you're number 1. Now, here's the thing. I am curious to go to this this Christmas party where everyone's going to be locked in a party room together who hates each other.
Where is this?
It's Kevin Brennan throwing an MLC Christmas event at O'Sullivan's.
You know what? The Dabbleverse doesn't need to know. Don't tell OJ. Tukey will show up.
It's gonna be
Cardiff will show up.
Tukey would show up, but that's the thing, right? Like it's like the word will get out once Kevin announces it. Melton will show up. All these people who hate each other will be locked in a small room together drinking.
Yeah,
I want to sit up in the glass.
I might go to that. I might, I just wish it was closer to Grand Central.
I might actually be in that area at that time, and I might go to that.
Stalin says you gave Shuli an F, Carlos.
Ooh. Essentially, I mean,
F Carlos.
That's a 50%.
Stallion's really mad at me.
Stealth Chaos. Ray has basically been Joker. He made up the sex story to move into blah, blah, blah.
I mean, between a 6 and a 7, that's a passing grade. At least I gave him a passing grade.
C's get degrees, baby. That's what I say to myself every time I do a philosophy paper.
Not in medical school.
The bottom line is that
Have to get a
Shuli isn't
B.
funny and never was. It shows every dumb show he does. Shuli deserves a star in comedy, sewed right into. Oh, whoa! I think that's crazy.
I mean, the thing is, right? It's like
I wasn't trying to turn this into bash Shuli.
Artie used to say this over and over about Killers of Comedy. That group needed Bob Levy. Like, whatever you want to say about Bob Levy's comedy, that dude can do 45 minutes in front of an audience and keep getting laughs, right?
He'd bring the party atmosphere at the end of those shows.
And so Shuli, like, it was acknowledged. Like, Shuli would do his 15 or 30 or whatever he was doing, and Bob was the headlining guy, you know?
The Whack Packers were the draw.
Yeah. Oh my God. Any friend I had that went to one of those went for Beetlejuice. There's no doubt.
Let's end it on the most annoying part of the show the other day. It was last night's show. It was Ray and the Sorcerer. Daytwa says
Shuli haters in the chat.
It's that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, it really kicked up.
You should read the Howard Stern subreddit sometime. It is amazing. They all
KB didn't pick a good date. It's very New York exclusive. Yeah, I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to be in Manhattan at Christmas time? What's the matter with people?
Fuck that.
So there was this discussion of John Candy. Okay, Cleveland. Yeah, come on.
Well, I'm just talking about the traffic and the population, all the people that will be there. Yeah, not the weather.
Don't worry. Hotel will be a mere 3,000 a night.
It's on Gustav. All right, so they started talking about movies, right? This used to be a movie podcast. And
I love movies, by the way, Carlos. And I guess I am a little bit of a movie buff. And I do know who John Candy is.
Yeah, can we come back sometime and do this talking about movies instead?
Absolutely.
Ray's a very thin stew in terms of like how long you can talk about him.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's not true. You can talk about Ray 24 hours.
Unless you're watching the Mud Shark Chad Zumach and Dr. Chow on the Ray DeVito show.
Well, let me put it in a way that this group will understand. Ray is empty calories after a while. Like it fills you up and makes you feel good, but at the end of the day, you're just shitting it out.
There is a point, yeah, and also like I noticed it. Actually, you suffered this, Liam, because I think like the MLC audience, they are as much shit as Ray gets. People are protective of him, and there's this invisible line that all of a sudden, because I think you were going at him so hard for your reasons, but the audience turned against you. It was fascinating to watch because they're like, hey, it's like I can call my sister fat, but you can't call my sister fat. I don't have any sisters. But
what's really funny about this too is people are also sick of me, which is funny because I've been in this world for 7 months, and for the past 2 months, I've been doing 1 or 2 shows a week at the most. Like some weeks I don't even just show up on Kevin's podcast. So there's a lot of people who are like, I'm fucking done with Liam. It's like Liam is barely here. Liam does not do the rounds.
It's one of the reasons I love like the MLC audience because they don't agree on anything. There's a couple of weeks ago, I wouldn't go into it. All I'll say is like you cannot gaslight that audience because it's like half the people want it to go back to being what it was 10 years ago. Right. The other half wants Bob Levy back, and then the other half wants to kill Liam, and then like Ray. It's they don't agree on anything. It's beautiful.
Dude, if I woke up to a voicemail from Kevin tomorrow and he was like, Liam, I've decided to bring Bob Levy back, and it's going to be him and Chad and Ray, I would be very happy. I would listen to that very happily.
Never happened.
Never.
All right.
I want to see Bob back on MLC.
Dude, those two were great together.
I thought so.
OJ again trying to pull Bob out of the Shuli network. You see that?
Yeah.
That's how I was introduced to Kevin, though, was when Bob was on the show. And I loved the show. And I still will watch Kevin. But I liked it more when Bob was on.
It's become a true cult show. I mean, it's because like, Kevin alienating like OJ to a certain extent because he was there to watch Bob, and then Kevin's like, fuck you, Bob, and he's like whittled his audience down to like, I feel like it's a cult show, not like not like a cult, not like a Jim Jones who's going to drink the Kool-Aid cult,
not far
but
off,
I mean like out of the mainstream You know, like Street Trash is a cult. The movie.
Come on, give
like
us a second.
movie.
OJ had a funny joke.
I'm sorry. I couldn't stop talking. I apologize. I should have some
Liam,
Doritos.
Don't worry, I'm so used to that. Nope. No, I have one-liners here and there, and they always get rolled right over.
Hey, he fucking broadcasts with Cardiff. That dude never shuts up.
Right.
By the way, the only reason I'm on Kevin's show is because I was on WATP with Ray, and I told an embarrassing story about Ray, and then Kevin asked me to be on, and I couldn't be on for the next year. Like, you know, and then I finally started doing the show, and it was like I had the most fun on Kevin's show. I did every show that asked me to do it at one point, and Kevin was the only one where I consistently had a really good time. And second most was Ray's, but that's because I could just get out whatever was going on with me by screaming at Ray for an hour, which is not great.
Not that. Talk to your sponsor. All right, let's watch.
No, my sponsor told me 3 months ago to never do any of these podcasts again.
That
so
makes sense.
I actually can't talk to him anymore.
All right, and here they are talking about movies and John Candy at the end of Saturday's show, MLC.
Super chats nonstop. That must be a problem. We got to talk.
Second favorite movie, John Candy and Great Outdoors and Summer Rental. Second favorite movie, and then fourth favorite movie. I'm a big weekend John Candy guy.
Summer Rental was like fucking fantastic.
With he got the boat and he hits it and it's the Ferrari brand.
Yeah, the whole movie's great.
Why don't you guys act out a scene?
Summer Rental is John. What?
Here's the thing. John Candy's number one movie might be Splash.
I forgot about Splash.
You can argue with me, and I'd probably agree with you. There are a number of John Candy movies where he's excellent. Splash
How many kids stole the quarters trick, the change, throwing it on the ground and look up the girls' skirts?
A couple
I
guys-
did.
Or you
Jesus,
could get a
OJ
girl,
admitting to crimes.
I was a little kid.
or if a girl was in tight jeans, you'd throw the change and she would stoop to pick it up.
All right, so I guess we'll end with this. Liam, what's John Candy's best movie, best performance?
Well, it's between Splash and Stripes. Those are maybe my. But here's the thing, Kevin made the point. Home Alone, right? Like, you know, John Candy's barely in it, but he leaves an impression. His entire 7 minutes on screen. So I would really have to think about it because Uncle Buck is a great movie.
Yeah, Uncle Buck.
Dude, honestly, watch the Uncle Buck TV series with Kevin Meaney. Not to demean Kevin Meaney, he was a great comic, but it's like the difference between John Candy and Kevin Meaney is a gulf. You know, like John Candy's just that funny. Also, Only the Lonely, like where he did more of a dramatic role.
Maureen McGovern?
Yeah. Where he was
Maureen O'Hara, the redhead from A Quiet Man. I saw that in the theater back in the day.
Yeah, that's the only reason my mom agreed to go with me was because Maureen O'Hara was in it.
Oh, I went with a date, though. Come on, Liam.
Well, I was also 7.
No, here's his best movie. All right, so OJ's going with what are you saying? You're saying Splash. I like that pick. No, you're thinking about it? You're looking up his IMDb?
I am. I'm looking at just his movies. But no, I was thinking Uncle Buck or Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is always. And it's still that movie still gets me at the end. I'm sorry. As many times as I've seen it, that scene at the end is a tough watch.
That'll make me cry. And the scene in the car where he turns into the devil and like you're going the wrong way. That's a comedy. Like, God, what's funnier than that?
We have a $2 super chat from Nice Podcast Stupid, who had Chad on like a week ago. I was watching that. That was a pretty good episode. Does Ray start with 2 blue chews? Still soft after 1? OJ?
I don't know. How would I know?
So you got to be there administering blue chews to Ray DeVito. All right, here is, and then we'll end it, John Candy's best performance in a movie.
My name's Dewey Oxburger. My friends call me Ox. You might have noticed I've got a slight weight problem.
No.
Yeah, I do.
No.
Yeah, I do. Anyway, I went to this doctor. And, he told me I swallowed a lot of aggression, along with a lot of pizzas. Pizzas. I'm basically a shy person. I'm a shy guy, and he suggested taking one of these aggression training courses. You know, these aggressive training courses like EST, those type of things. Anyway, it cost $400. $400 to join this thing. Well, I didn't have the money. And I thought to myself, join the Army. It's free. So I figured, while I'm here, I'll lose a few pounds. And you got what, a 6 to 8 week training program here? A real tough one? Which is perfect for me. I'm going to walk out of here a lean, mean fighting machine. It is.
Dude, how good was Harold Ramis in that too?
Yeah, the late. Although they're both the late. And then Warren Oates. All right, I'm sure the whole chat is probably like boomers.
Can I plug one more John Candy movie, which is Nothing But Trouble, which is a
come on,
dude. No, I love that movie.
And it's bad. It's not a great movie.
It's horrible, but it's great. It's so horrible that it's great.
Honestly, it stuck with me. Like I had genuine nightmares the first time I watched it.
It was supposed to be even more of a horror movie than it was.
Yeah.
But,
Well, that was the thing was, I'm sorry, go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it was supposed to be like, dark. See, you know more about these genres than I do.
No, it was what Dan Aykroyd wanted to make a straight horror movie with comic elements.
There you go.
But they assembled this all-star comedy cast, and the studio was like, "What the fuck? What are you doing?" And they made him make it a comedy with horror elements, which is the reason why it's a classic.
Yeah,
it's just so bizarre. All right, just one more clip from Stripes. We'll probably get struck, but whatever. I do this once every 6 months, and this is, I mean, it's way too long, but fuck it.
Right on inside. Sergeant Holker. Yes, sir. At ease, Sergeant. I'm Captain Stillman, the new company commander. Pleased to meet you, sir. Fine-looking group of men, wouldn't you say so? Boy, I hope this is the mess hall. How's it going, Eisenhower?
How's it going, Eisenhower? I don't think anybody could hear that. I must have fucked up
I heard
the audio. Oh, you could hear it? Okay. But yeah, anyway. But what did the
other great
say
one,
it again?
The other great one is, and I know they were talking about how it was like that nobody told Candy, but when he gets his hair shorn and he's really mad and he walks out and some guy just goes, Hare Krishna.
Harold Ramis. He goes after him, yeah. All right. That's all I got. I mean, I have a clip from a horror movie, but that would be gross to play. Let me check in with a free chat real quick because I feel like a dick not
you look
reading
like
that,
a dick
because there's probably a lot. Hey, I can't even.
Especially with that hat on.
Doom says bye. Day 12, I listened to a podcast with John Larroquette's son since 2009.
Wow.
Cigarettes really did a number on that cast. Oh yeah, like Warren Oates, right?
Oh,
and then
man.
everyone else is it's just like
My
Flat Cat Jessica being horribly racist. I don't even know what else.
Wait, what
Great Scott, everyone in this movie is dead. I don't need to. Who is Harry Crumb? Somebody says Richard Dix. All right, I guess Liam, is there anything you want to plug?
You're just gonna skip right over who's Harry Crumb, huh?
We can talk about Harry Crumb
when they had to run into the adult novelty store and walk out and dressed in drag and showing their asses and their ass chaps.
Johnny LaRue from SCTV. Oh my God! Listen, we could Divine.
I'm a mug. I'm half dog, half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend.
Listen, you ever watch the SCTV sketch Divine doing Peter Pan? I'm flying.
Chairman Meow. I love when Kevin always gets Dr. Chow's name wrong and he calls him Chairman Meow. My father, Sergeant Major, would always salute, like, what's his name to be funny? Larroquette to be funny.
Yeah.
And then we got Ray's ass. I should just leave that up there. All right. Wait, did you do your plugs? Because now I'm confused.
Here's the thing.
I don't have any plugs, so just let him close it out.
Carlos, first of all, if you wanted to do a movie podcast again, that's the most fun to talk about. I'm doing one this week about Ed Wood. But
that's one of my favorite movies.
It's the best movie ever made about filmmaking, and I will stand by that. And I will this Friday, and I'll plug it on Kevin's show because I don't know the name of it.
Is it the Blackcast? Is it you doing? It's not Christian Black.
No, I am, however, on the Blackcast. I think this week talking about Megalopolis, and then I will be on for a short segment talking about Joker 2 the next week. But But I do want to plug, I'm doing a show this Thursday. It's in honor of Norm Macdonald's birthday. It's a benefit for cancer research. It's somewhere in LA. I haven't gotten the venue yet.
Here's the thing. By the end of this, we'll have 62 views, so it's not like...
No, it's fine. I'm just saying, if anyone's in LA, just direct message me, or you can email me at liam@heyitsliam.com, and I can send you the link to buy a ticket, because once you buy a ticket, they reveal where the venue is. I haven't bought a ticket, so I don't know.
God damn.
Ray, shut the fuck up!
Oh, I haven't heard that in a while. All my shit's erased. I just have this one.
That's not, what are you, fucking Chad Zuma?
I have Ray, but they're all
dork.
They're all N-word
That's
Ray.
a fact. That's a fact.
Can I play N-word Ray or
no? No, OJ. I have a job. I'm not behind. This is not a filter. This is my flesh. I know it's look weird. It's blotchy and no. God damn it.
There have been a couple times I've almost jumped off with Mr. Kill because you almost said certain words.
You don't know what's gonna happen. All right, so let's end on that note before OJ shows us his dick.
Up in district.